The travel industry has always been an interaction from human to human. Digitalization and technology could endanger that interface. Within the hype of digitalization, the challenge is to find the right equilibrium between too little and too much. We should not forget that digitalization is not the solution, but a tool for creating value. This means that digitalization can enhance both the experience on the consumer and increase the positive impact in the destination. So now, let's get our hands dirty and humanize the technology.
Sustainability and digitalization are two key areas surrounding the tourism industry. How do we ensure these two aspects become opportunities for businesses rather than challenges? Our industry needs an out-of-the-box approach to sustainability, and digitalization gives us the opportunity to do that. But we've got to challenge ourselves and our customer mindsets beyond what we currently do today. For instance, offering digital platforms such as mobile apps and reducing unnecessary waste of resources. Digitalization already plays a major role in shaping business processes and efficiencies. However, digitalization now needs to be at the forefront of shaping our sustainability solutions for our industry.
The world is more complex than ever before, and the issues require collaboration and new solutions that will enable the long-term sustainability, both from an environmental perspective, but also in terms of people. In that context, the three most valuable skills for the future are humanity, which includes empathy and communications, creativity, which includes innovation, connecting to the dots and complex problem solving, and agility and openness to change, part of which is tech readiness, but also sustainability.
To enable, empower, and inspire is the role of the government in the era of digitalization.
To enable means to establish innovative, comprehensive policies and regulatory instruments while developing digital infrastructure and enhance connectivity in order to create a digital enabling environment.
Empower is to equip the young generations with the necessary technical skills, promote the entrepreneurship environment and enhance its competitiveness.
It is of public interest to your destinations, to regions, and the globe. To inspire the public through this era of digitalization is your responsibility.
I think our customer wants a more product and less marketing.
Integrity.
I think they want to engage and interact more with the local community while they travel.
I think our customers want more empathy.
What keeps you up at night? Safety?
From business point of view, I think that irresponsible tourist behavior.
Keeping the young generation in the travel industry.
The biggest opportunity we should not miss out on is taking in the moment every day.
If I was the big boss, I would give equal pay to everyone who does the same job.
If I was a big boss, I would focus more on leadership development.
If I was the big boss, I would lead by example.
Power the next generation!
I have so many questions, including the fact that clearly they were living out their wildest dreams for Hollywood. But to help me have the conversation about bridging the gap between the generations are two amazing women, Isabel Heen-Wolmarker and Hester Borsma. Could you please join me on stage? This chair will be mine. This is the prettiest panel you're going to see, okay? Enjoy, okay? And the smartest as well. Isabel, I'm going to start with you. So, less than 24 hours, 12 people who've never met before from different parts of the world, different economies, get together. Did they sit there and size each other up, or what actually happened?
No, they actually got really fast into connecting with each other, and I think that was their main reason to come, is to meet other people and get ideas.
Okay.
So they immediately started working and brainstorming, and Esther was phenomenal at making sure that they had the tools to do it really fast.
Okay, so Hester, I need to come to you. I couldn't ignore Group 4, because first and foremost is the Kenyan sitting in there, who was obviously determined to make sure she makes a point. What was the take on government and digitalization? Because I get the sense that governments tend to wait until everything happens, and then they walk in and they say, regulate. So what was their take?
They took a very positive approach, so you can see in the movie as well, it was very much about empowerment and inspiring, and making sure the next generation can really be entrepreneurial, and they see a very big role of the government in part of that, so it was a very, very positive discussion.
Something else came up, and I have a feeling, because I was watching your face when you saw it, was about attracting the next generation into the industry. Is there a problem?
Well, yes, I think the young generation felt that maybe the tourism industry is not as attractive as maybe tech companies or other cool companies. And so a lot of effort and investment should be put into talent management, attracting the right people, and also getting them ready for all the big changes that are coming ahead.
So what she's politely trying to say is maybe young people don't think this industry is cool?
I have a travel background, I think it's amazing.
Oh,
But,
really?
I think what she says is as well, it's a different mentality. When you think about people coming from a travel industry, it's not a 9-to-5 mentality. It's getting your hands dirty. It's doing the real business. And I think it's an industry for a lot of people. It is a life choice. It's a true passion to be actually working in this industry. And it's alighting this passion, I think, with younger generation where they potentially see some challenges.
However, Isabel, if you were here earlier, remember the winners of our startup challenge, innovation. First, of course, there was the payment solution, the hospitality, very young. So it's not that there isn't room for them, it's that we need to show them.
Well, I think that there's a lot of innovation here, and I think the conference does a really good job at showcasing that, and we also felt the energy today. I think what's really important, though, is not to take it for granted. You know it's cool because you work in it, and you always have to communicate about the fact that there are really fun things to do in any kind of industry, in any place there's innovation. So I think it's very often just to make sure that you know what kind of talent you're looking for, you communicate about the opportunities, and it's all about making sure that it's in your list of actions that you're going to really plan in your team to make sure you get the next generation to come to your team as well, because you're competing with a lot of really other cool industries, other cool companies.
Yeah, I mean, tech and phones but here's the thing. What's the real message to the established sector from the next generation? Which one of you wants to take that one?
You want to start?
It's a hot potato.
I think what came across throughout the entire day we spent together, and also at all of these movies, it's the human touch that makes the industry, and digitalization and the technology behind it is a tool to make that happen. It's the human that is, I think, key. And I think that also, although the new generation might be very more digitalized in their ways of living, they all recognize that the human interaction is in the end what is key. And I found that a very inspiring message.
Okay, so wait, that's very important. So they'd see tech as a tool, not a means to an end, and not an end in itself.
Yeah, and I thought it was quite amazing that all of them were extremely clear about that, and no matter where they came from, no matter how developed their country was in terms of that topic, in terms of digitalization, they all were extremely clear that it's a tool, it's not the goal, and that the actual purpose at the end of the day is to be customer-centric. To really make sure that your customer, you're making the right choices, the right offers, the right products for your customer. And the digitalization is something for some generation that people expect. For some older generation, as we heard in Australia, for example, with one of the participants who's actually targeting 50 plus, it was actually not their main thing, but they are aware of the fact that they need to focus on also this generation and the next coming, and they will have to have different ways of dealing with digitization in their whole offering. So I think they're all super clear on this, and their advice, or my advice also, would be listen to them. Your young talents know what's coming.
Okay, so that means you can all breathe. Your businesses are in good hands, and I'll actually give you some time to ask questions. However, what was your big takeout? And I'm going to make sure we watch the video one more time, but what was your big takeout? The thing that made you think, everybody gets an aha moment.
What I found really interesting, we started the exercise out last night where everybody had done an amazing pre-work, and we asked them to come up with the biggest opportunities and challenges that they're seeing in terms of digitalization in their own company and in their own industry. And although people were from wildly different places all over the world, and they came from a really wide variety of companies within the tourism industry, when we started comparing, actually the challenges and also the opportunities that they saw in digitalization were actually very, very similar, no matter what their background was. And that was for me really an aha moment, thinking it is really something that affects everybody around the world.
Travelers are the same, I know, when I go through airports. What was your big one?
Well, my big one is the topic of trust. Trust the young generation. They can come up with things. We all didn't know what we would get out of the meetings yesterday. We all didn't know what we would get out of the sessions this morning. Would they be good on tape? Would they have the right message? Would they come across? And I think when you see what comes out of a 24-hour
Less than 24, actually.
You have a full video. They actually made, I think, really great relationships amongst themselves. And I think it's a really good example of very agile design thinking, a really fast turnaround. Also, the whole idea of working from, with very different types of cultures. And it works. If you give it the right space, the right environment, and maybe also something out of the box, like here, leaving the KKL for a half day, moving on to a different place, getting some other ideas, and kind of sparking that through a new approach. And then I still think you can come up with something really interesting. So it's trust them.
Trust them, okay. So I actually want those next generation leaders to stand up so they can be acknowledged. Where are you? All right, there you go. Well done. Well done. Yes, do give us the wave. Very important for the camera. And I just want to know, before I do ask Isabel and Hester to leave stage, anybody got a question, a burning one, and especially given that this is the next generation of travel and hospitality and tourism? Questions? Or you just don't want to take them on? You're scared? I got you. I'll look after you. I promise. Questions? No? Or do you have one?
I do have the cube, and I wanted
but
to
do you
throw
have
it,
a question
but
for the
apparently
next,
they're scared of me.
For Hester and Isabel, and of course the next generation leaders? No? That means you agree with everything. That means they can take over tomorrow. You've got the go-ahead. You guys...
Caroline, there is one over here.
Oh, there's a question there?
Very nice, close to me.
Fantastic.
I guess in light of the conversation that happened earlier with the decision to go into travel instead of technology, like what was the decision? I guess why did you guys choose to go into or get involved in this industry? And maybe that can be an inspiration for others.
For others. And this question obviously will not go to Isabel and Hester, it will go to a member of the Next Gen team. Yeah? Okay?
Take one.
Go for it.
Who wants to answer this one? There you go. The one who catches it.
Yep, there you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donovan Elliott from the Travel Corporation. What a huge honor it is to be here and to learn. I think one of the speakers from a previous session said something really profound, and he spoke about the why, and it's something that our own CEO, Brett Tolman, who is in this audience, spoke to us about recently. And we focus so much on how, what, where, and who, but not so much on the why. And for me, the decision to not just work, but to really make my life in the travel industry is because of the purpose to serve, to give back, to be amongst people, because I am a person of people, And we've heard so much about people, not just in this session, but throughout this forum. And so really it's about the why, it's about finding meaning and purpose, and that's something so important for the next generation of leaders. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I hope that answers your question. My clock is at 0. Ladies, thank you. And once again, is there any chance we can see that video one more time, this time with context? I don't know. I'll be told just now. Urs, what did you love about that? I love the fact that I found out that technology is a tool. It's not the end.
Of course. And I like the idea of the next generation. And I can promise you all, there's going to be a next generation later on as well. We're going to be seeing talents from the industry, because that's one thing, I can only sign up for that. And I heard that in a parallel session as well. It's all about the humans, and it's all about the people in that business. And with the next generation, we make sure that those people are still working in the right industry. So thank you very much for those insights, and all the best for your future, for the next generation. Thank you so much. Thank you, Caroline.
Urs, good luck.